by the grace of God. Today we want to look at St. John, chapter 1, verses 1, 2, 10, 11, and 14. And as I'm reading you, I'll let you know where I am. On the New King James Version of the Bible. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God. Verse 2, the same was in the beginning with God. He was in the world, and the world knew him not. He was in the world, and the world was made by him, and the world knew him not. 11, he came unto his own, and his own received him not. And the Word was made flesh, this is verse 14, and dwelt among us, and we beheld his glory, the glory as the only begotten Son of the Father, full of grace and truth. You may be seated. This is not the sermon that I wanted to preach. The one that I wanted to preach was don't throw it away. But for some reason, I couldn't put that sermon together. I couldn't put it together. So I reverted back to those that I had, and it says a new beginning. New beginning? A new beginning. Well, let me just help you a little bit with that. Don't throw it away. Back in the Old Testament, there were covenants. First of all, a covenant. A covenant is nothing more than an agreement. That's all it is. When you buy a house, you sign a contract. That's a covenant. When we buy a new car or a car, that's a covenant. Whenever you go in debt and you don't pay it off right then, and you have a payment plan, that is a covenant. Well, God had made a covenant with his children of Israel. First covenant was, he said, I'm going to take you to be my children. I'm going to nurture you. I'm going to grow you. I'm going to be with you so you can be a living example to the world. That was the Mosaic covenant. Then there was another covenant that he made. And while he was talking to them, this is also what he said. You only got to do one thing. One thing. Trust and believe in me. Have no other God before me. He said, I will be your God. And you don't need one. Then, children of Israel, I hear you talking, but it don't mean nothing. Because as long as I'm struggling, I need you. But when I get out of the muck and the mire, and I come up out the mud and I'm walking on asphalt and concrete, I don't need you no more. And the children of Israel turned their back on God. Then there was another covenant that he made called the Abrahamic covenant. That the Abrahamic covenant was he promised, and God is no shorter than his word. Are y'all gonna help me? I know we're on our way to Rayville, but I need need you to help me. The Abrahamic covenant, he told Abraham, you will be the father of the nations. The nation there will be nations coming from, children coming from your loins that you won't be able to count. They will be like the sands on the beach or at the sea. Can anybody count the number of grains of sand? No. Well, let me ask you, can you count the number of hairs on your head? Well, that's a covenant that he made with. And then there is this one. He made a covenant with a man by the name of Noah. That is called the Noahic covenant. And that covenant was he destroyed the world with water. It rained for 40 days and 40 nights. But he made a promise. He said, never again will I destroy the world with water. And to make sure, and just to help you now, every time it cloud up and rain, to show you that he's a man of his word. When it happened right after the rain. And you see all of those colors in the air called the rainbow. How many have seen the rainbow? Well, every time you see the rainbow, that is a covenant that he made with Noah, saying that he won't destroy the world, never again with water. Now, I haven't seen nowhere where he said it'll be fire next time. I haven't read that. But he did say, and every time you see the rainbow in the element, that's say, he is staying to his word, that he won't destroy the world no more with water. Then, all he asked us to do was to trust in him, believe in him, and keep him as our Father. Don't have no other God before me. I'm your God. Do you know any other God that can put you to sleep at night? Do you know any other God who can wake you up in the morning and start lying and say with your alarm clock, because your alarm clock went off, but it was God. Do you know anybody that can put breath in your body? Do you know anybody who can put, I don't know, I'm not a, well, how many pints of blood is in us, William? Uh-oh. Anybody know? But let me help you with something. Everything in this body stays in its own place. If it wasn't God, all of that blood, and guess what? And it keeps circulating. Right now the blood is moving because that's where life comes from. But look at all of the holes or the exits on our body. The blood stays in this place. The water stays in this place. Food stays in this place. And all he asks us to do is what? Trust him. You don't need no other God. What can your car do for you other than take it and let your battery go down? It ain't gonna take you nowhere. He blessed us. But then that wasn't good enough. That wasn't good enough for us. We hard-headed. We still gonna turn our back on the Lord. In the book of Proverbs, now this is not me. In the book of Proverbs, in chapter 1, it says, a fool. I'm not calling nobody a fool. But Proverbs say, a fool say that there is no God. That's what a fool says. That's what Proverbs says. So down through the years, for the first 37 books in the Old Testament, I ain't say new, I say old. No, okay, wait. It's 37. How many is it? 37 books in the Old Testament. And we didn't believe everything that he was saying in the Old Testament. So then he had to shut down the Old Testament for 400 years and bring back a New Testament and 29 books. And the New Testament is talking about the Word. Are y'all with me? Yes. In the beginning was what? In the beginning. Now watch this. You got some folk, educated folk, and I don't have nothing against education because I get as much as I can. If you think I'm lying, just step over and off, and as soon as you walk in, look to your right, and you see all of that stuff on the wall, and nobody gave it to me. But educated folk says that Jesus was nowhere to be found in the Old Testament. Are y'all with me? In the Old Testament, in the book of Genesis, God stepped out on nothing and made something. He says, let us, Old Testament now, but educated folks are saying that Christ was nowhere to be found. God said, let us. So that means there was more than one, right? Huh? All right. So who was it then? I'm glad you asked. God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Ghost. Huh? They all make. Jesus says, when Doubting Thomas asked him, show us the Father. Jesus said, Thomas, you have been with me down through the years. You've been with me, Thomas. You've seen me heal the sick. Thomas, you've seen me raise the dead. And Thomas, you was with me when we went out into the wilderness, and that little boy, all the food that was available was that little boy's lunch. 2 fish and 5 loaves. Thomas, you were right there when I took that little boy's lunch and I held it up to the heavens and prayed. And my Father gave us enough food where I could feed over 5,000 men, Thomas, not counting the women and the children, but 5,000 men, Thomas, with 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread, and then there was that was left over, and I told you all to pick it up. Thomas, you were right there, and then you have the audacity to ask me, Thomas, let me help you. When you see me, Mr. Thomas, when you see me, you see because my Father and I, and I'm going to help you with something else, Thomas. You all just, I got to leave you, Thomas. I got to go. My time here is over. I got to go. But Thomas, this woman, I want you all to go into the upper room. Mr. Thomas. And just wait. That's all you got to do. Just go there and wait. In the beginning was the Word. And the Word was with God. Well, why if that? The Word, verse 14 says, and the Word was made flesh. So in the beginning, God said, let us. In the beginning was the Word. The Word was with God. God. So Christ was what? With God in the beginning, because God and Christ is one. Let me move. He was in the world. The world was made by him. And the word knew him not. He came unto his own. In other words, when heaven was shut up for those 400 years, we were down here just like we are today, doing our own money. Nobody can tell us nothing. Doing what we want to do. He said, you know what? He said, I got to go to work again. Look at him down there. I got to send somebody down and say, now under the old covenant, bulls, sheep, goats, pigeons had to give up their life for our foreparents. Are y'all with me? Yeah. That was in the old covenant. Old covenant, I had to, Harris and them would have a big old pot, a tub over there, full of water, and I had to take a bath. I had to clean up what I messed up and start my life all over again. I had to take a bath. And then the same clothes that I pulled off, I couldn't put those clothes on again. I had to put on my priestly robe. That's one reason why you know relaxed and said, why do he wear his robe on communion Sunday? It's out of respect. I hope I done solved that problem, or answered that question. Because I'm getting ready, Old Testament now, I'm getting ready to go into the holies of holies. Nobody, when I say nobody, I mean what? No. Oh yes, no, I'll take that back. I'll take that back. Yeah, you could. Yeah, you could. You could go in there if you want. But can I help you with something? The way you went in is not the way you come out. And you, Pastor, what you mean? God had appointed one man to sanctify himself, clean up, put on the priestly robe, consecrate himself. Then he could go. I hope y'all catching what I'm saying. Then he could go. Are y'all with me? Okay, you'll catch it on your way home. Then he could go into the holies of holies, and when he went in there, he had something with him. He had a basin. And in this basin was what? Blood. And he would go into the holies of holies, and he would sprinkle the blood, asking God for forgiveness of the nation's sin. One man, sprinkling blood. Well, if he went in and he wasn't right, he wasn't coming out. Harris and them, they sitting out there waiting. Well, Reverend Harris went in there and I don't hear nothing. I wonder what did happen. But when Reverend Harris went in, he had bells around him, up his gun. Reverend Harris had a rope around his waist called a cable tow. And as long as I was walking around sprinkling blood, what was happening, Harris? Harris, what was happening? Harris, what was happening? The bell was ringing. As long as I was moving, as long as Deacon Harris and Deacon Williams and Davis and Taylor, as long as they could hear those bells ringing, they knew I was alive. But oh, if they didn't hear, nothing. Bible don't say how long, but let's use common sense. If I was in there for a period of time, you didn't hear them moving. Deacon Harris gonna come in there and get his uncle. Bobby, this is my nephew, Bobby. You don't hear nothing. Say what? You ain't gonna come in and get me? William, did you come in and get me? You coming to get me? That's all right. Oh, stand by, coming to get me. And the reason why they're not coming is because only one individual. Well, how did they get me out of there? God didn't want that. So he said, I got to do something. In the beginning was the Word, was with God. The Word was God. And then it said, well, and the Word was what? Made flesh. So he sent Jesus down on a 42 generation train down to Bethlehem. And he got off to be the Savior. Notice where I'm finna take you. To be the Savior of Vicksburg, Tallulah, New Orleans, New York, Savior of the world. For God so loved the world that he did what? Sent him only begotten Son, that whosoever believed in him should not perish but have everlasting life. We get ready to go. He spoke, and the galaxies whirled into place. Stars burned the heavens, and planets began orbiting their sun. Words of awesome, unlimited powers was unleashed. Are you with me? He spoke again, and the waters and the land was filled with plants and creatures, running, swimming, growing, multiplying. Worlds of animation, breathing, and pulsating life. Talk back to me if you can. Again, he spoke, and man and woman was formed. Thinking, speaking, loving, words of personal and creative glory. Eternal, infinite life was unlimited. He was and is always and will be the maker and the Lord of all that exists. Come on, help me, y'all. John's gospel is not the life of Christ. It is a powerful argument for the incarnation. A conclusive demonstration that Jesus is and was the very heaven-sent Son of God and the only source of eternal life. I wish somebody would help me, because Jesus is God's only Son. We can perfectly trust what he says. By trusting him, we can gain and get an open mind to understand God's message and his purpose for our life. Oh, I need some help up in here. So what he wants us to do, believing is active, living and continual trust in Jesus as God's Son. When we believe in his life, his word, his death and his resurrection, we are cleansed from sin and receive power to follow him. But we must respond by knowing what? Believing in him. Believing that he is who he say he is. But Harris, who do he say is? Jesus say, I am the Son of God. Oh, y'all help me. But what does John mean by the word? The word was a term used by theologians and philosophers both Greek and Hebrew in many different ways. In Hebrew, the word was an agent of creation, the source of God's message to his people through the prophets, talking about God's law, God's standards of holiness. Are you going to help me? And the Greek philosophy of the word was divine essence that held all things together. God's pattern for creation. John, the scripture shows clearly that he was speaking of Jesus, a human being he knew and loved, but at the same time he was the creator of the universe. Are y'all going to help me? The ultimate revelation of God, the living picture by whom all things exist. To the Jewish reader, the word was God, but it was also blasphemy. To the Greek reader, the word was made flesh, was unthinkable. But to John, the new understanding of the word was the gospel, the good news of Christ. Can I get a witness? But what Jesus taught, he did and tied separately to who he is. John showed Jesus is fully human and fully God. Although Jesus took upon himself the full nature of humanity and lived down here as a man, nobody wanted to accept the fact that Jesus Christ was the true Son of God. Can I get a witness? He never ceased to be the eternal God who always existed. He never said that he was anything other than the creator and the sustainer of all things. He is the source of eternal life. But if you notice, he never, while he was down here on this earth, he never elevated himself above God. Can I get a witness? He never tried to be more than who God was. If you notice, he always referred to my Father. I'm ready to go, y'all. My Father, who is in heaven. Can I get a witness? This is the reason why John wrote the gospel, to build faith and confidence in Jesus Christ, so that we may believe that he is the true Son of God. Can I get a witness? A new beginning. All of those who believe and receive him welcome Christ as our Lord that lives in our life. If you got Christ in your life, I am a new creature. Can I get a witness? I like the song, and the old folk song, I have died one time, ain't gonna die no more. Can I get a witness? of his shoulder. That man who told his father, it's all over now. I've done what you told me to do. I preached the word. I raised the dead. I healed the sick. I went down in the ground. Stayed there. I stayed. Stayed there. I stayed all night. Friday night. Stayed there all day Saturday. Stayed there Saturday night. For somebody in here ought to help me say, Pastor, help me say, Monday morning, he got up with all power in his hands. Is he all right? Is he all right? Do you know it? Don't y'all fool me. Do you know it? Is he all right? Is he all right? Say it! Do you know he's all right? Say it! Say it! You got Christ. If you got Christ. If you got Christ. If you got Christ in your life, it's a new beginning. Heard somebody say the other day, when you celebrate your birthday, that's the new beginning in your life. That's beginning, a new beginning in your life. But when you wait until the 1st of January, that's the beginning of a what? A new year. But when you celebrate a birthday, that's a new beginning in your life. Somebody in here today don't know him. If you don't know Christ, you ought to get to know him, because he will never leave you, nor will he forsake you. When your friend or loved one turn their back on you, you can hold on to God's unchanging hand. For he'll never leave you, nor will he forsake you. Let us all stand. If you need a miracle, While y'all play the very soft for me. While you let me see it. While you are sitting down, it don't take an Einstein to let God back into your life. Right where you sit, you can ask the Lord, Lord, come in and clean me up. The Bible says, over in Corinthians, create in me a clean heart and a right spirit. He says that a man or woman examine themselves. So you don't have to tell him, I'm waiting till next year. Next year's not promised to you. He's a right now God. Just ask him right now. Fix it for me. Fix me. Clean me. And make me whole. If you got all against your brother or sister, right now is the time you can go to them and ask them to forgive you. But you got to go a certain way. You have to go with a sincere heart and ask him to forgive you. And he's faithful enough to do what? To forgive you. I used to think, I got to go in the wilderness and I got to stay there for 30 days. Or no. No. If you open up your heart, as soon as you open up your heart, because he's standing at the door and open it up and let him in. And he'll come in and he'll sup with you. And he says, my way is so easy till a fool can't hear. He has always been standing by your side. At night, when you were asleep, he has his angel right by your bedside. Anybody in here fell out of bed lately? Because, and you can't tell me that when you say, you know you. So when I get in bed, I stay in one position. You can't tell that lie, because you're always moving. Has you ever fell out of bed at night? Because you were tossing and turning? I bet you had something helping you to fall out there. You had some mind-altering substance in your body. I ain't never fell out of bed. I haven't been in a situation where one leg was down, but I never fell out of bed. You know why? Because he had his angel around my bedside that protected me. Anybody in here ever been sick? And you lay in the bed, and you laying there sleep, and the medicine is dripping while you sleeping. You ever overdose while you was sleeping? Your medicine may have ran out while you was sleeping and your pump went out. But just think about it, right around your bedside. Can I tell you who's standing there by your bedside? By your bedside? Grace and mercy. It's right there by your bed. Get it right. Get it right. Oh, yeah, always, 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 he has always. What did he do? Stood by my side. So many times that you are not here, but that it represents, it's a memorial of your death, and you shed your blood. We know that the bread is not your body, but you said it represents your broken body. We know that the grape juice is not your blood, but you said that it represents your shedded blood. And then you said, for as often as we eat the bread and drink of the wine, we show forth your suffering until you come back. You said that a man or woman example themselves. Now, we're not going to ask you to change the bread and not going to ask you to change the wine, but we will ask you to change our hearts. Go with us and stand by. For we love you and we thank you and we give it all to you. Amen. He has all. I could pray, the Lord showed me the way.
You're by my side.
So then, on that night, in the upper room, he took the bread and he broke it. Say, this represents mine. Broke the body. He said, take and eat. Likewise, he took the cup. When he had blessed it, he said, this represents my shed blood. He said, drink all of it. Some folk ask the question, how often do we do this? Get that corner right now. In remembrance of me, as often as you want to. Here at Pleasant Valley, if I wanted to commune every day of the month, it's legal. As often as we do this, we show Christ's suffering until he come back. Amen? He said after the Last Supper, they all sung a hymn and they walked out. But we won't do that just yet. Amen? Asking that you would keep Evangelist Davis, her family lifted up in prayer.